Rec League podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Podchaser, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Breaker, and Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 73 coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram or YouTube itself. What up, world? So, I just watched Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City. It is the overall 7th movie in the Resident Evil franchise, but it is a reboot of the Resident Evil franchise. It is more based on the games than any of the other movies. I want to specifically say the original Resident Evil 2. It stars Kaya Scodelario, Robbie Amell, Hannah John-Kamen, Tom Hopper, Avon Jogia. I hope I'm saying dude's name right. He was in Zombieland 2. It is Donald Logue, Neil McDonough. It is directed by Johannes Roberts, who directed both 47 Meters Down movies, The Strangers Pray at Night. Like I said, this is more based on the original 90s Resident Evil 2 video game than anything that Mila Jovovich starred in. You got Claire Redfield. Their upbringing is touched upon. She comes back into town. He's rooted into Raccoon City. He's loyal to the town, part of the police force. That Wesker, Jill Valentine. Off the top of my head, Avon Joga's character doesn't come to mind. Leon, I think is his name. She comes in with this conspiracy theory that the whole town is poisoned, that they're all sick, Umbrella is poisoning the town. Chris doesn't believe them. Shit hits the fan. There's an outbreak. And there's not really trying to stop Umbrella. They're just trying to survive. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 6 more times, shame on me. I'm always interested in a Resident Evil movie because I dig zombies. But outside of the original, with Mila Jovovich, Paul W.S. Anderson directing, and maybe Resident Evil Extinction, maybe Apocalypse, the other movies were never that good. Like I was telling my boys the other day, Retribution is filler. What is the point of Resident Evil Retribution? It's trash. And then watching the final chapter the other day, the whole surprise 3rd act for Resident Evil, the final chapter, negates the whole franchise. What was the point? So I think a reboot was justified. A reboot was warranted. I don't know if the reboot is good though. It starts off. I like Kyla Scodelario, Crawl, Pirates of the Caribbean 5. She's been in some good stuff. Not to say Pirates 5 is good. She's good in it. But with that said, she's with a character who is incredibly obnoxious. There are more obnoxious, the shift of cops is in this diner, and they're a character who I was hoping was going to die. I was hoping we was going to see his death, not turn into a zombie, but just see him die. He was in this scene, and so the beginning of this movie is so off-putting. It was hard for me to get into the rest of it. And the main cast, I really like the main cast. Kaya Scodelario is good. Robbie Amell is good. Hannah John-Kamen, Tom Hopper, good. Donald Logue as the police chief is a little over the top. And this takes place in 1998, and he's all like grizzled out, hard-nosed cop, kind of a bitch in a couple scenes. But in 1998, he was a henchman for Deacon Frost and Blade, just all rocker, vampire. So the compare and contrast is very funny. Like, the story's fine. I didn't hate the story. Like I said, I think it's the most game accurate Resident Evil movie that's ever been made, so that's a plus. Like, I probably found out before and forgot, so I just realized probably for the third time, Alice in the other movies was created for the movies. All the main characters, like the Redfield siblings, all the other characters in those movies are all like supporting characters. Chris Redfield is in one movie with Mila Jovovich, and he's not even a supporting character. He's lower than a supporting character. He technically may have been in 2 movies. He's featured heavily in 1 though. Yeah, man. So like, Jill Valentine gets more to do in this movie than in the other movies. Paul W.S. Is this what nepotism is? Paul W.S. Anderson making a movie, falling in love, however the butterflies flew in the original movie. Him and Mila Jovovich got married, and then she becomes the focus of the rest of the franchise, putting actual important game characters off to the side. Is that nepotism? But yeah, like the actual important characters in the game getting focus on, getting plot focus was very cool to see. Some characters in this movie that I thought were taking different routes are in this, so maybe if this gets picked up for sequels. See, like, I wasn't overly thrilled or impressed. Like, honestly, the zombies, I don't think the zombies like were that much of a threat maybe until like 2/3 of the way through the movie. And they don't, like, maybe because it's the initial portion, you know, zombies decompose and deteriorate and look super shitty and moldy. But maybe because this is the very start, they weren't supposed to look that deteriorated, so I'll give that a pass. There's a mid-credit scene, so that's why I hope to see sequels, to see that pay off. Like, this could have been worse. Like, it's not better than my favorite Resident Evil movie overall, and it's not worse than what I think is the worst Resident Evil movie overall. But I feel like it could have been so much better. So, and one little other, like, super geeky tidbit, Neil McDonough was a villain in, I want to say, Arrow Season 4, with Stephen Amell as Green Arrow. Robbie Amell is his cousin, who was also in the Arrowverse, but him and Neil McDonough have a close relationship in this movie. So, like, that's like some trivia shit that nobody gives a fuck about, but I thought it was silly. So with all that being said, man, I will say that in my opinion, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City is almost solid. It's like, I don't know if Johannes Roberts was like the best choice for directing this movie, because it's like both 47 Meters Down movies are fine. I did not like Strangers Pray at Night at all. So this might be his best movie, but it also probably isn't. Have you seen Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, man? What you think about it? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. I've recently posted reviews for Ghostbusters Afterlife, for King Richard, Clifford, the Big Red Dog, Eternals. Check all of that out. I got a review for Encanto right around the corner. In the next day or two, I'll have a review for House of Gucci posted. And then I don't know if I'm watching anything until West Side Story comes out. Spider-Man, Nightmare Alley are all coming down the pipeline. So, and Reg League episode 73 on a podcast we talking Ridley Scott. It is predicted to maybe be like a 4-hour podcast. I'll keep it under 4 hours. So like, subscribe, comment, find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.